So first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Robert Jones. I'm an entrepreneur slash 9 to 5. I own a business called Supreme Fitness, where we focus on helping you become the best version of yourself. And this is my guy right here. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man.
I'm Chad Roberts. I also 9 to 5, as well as I have a business, all about helping services, where we help people with their medical transportation needs, and as well as I do a medical carrier on the side as well.
So, like I was saying, we want to create an environment where fathers can come get information, share resources, update each other on things that we did not know. Because I ain't gonna lie, this actually started from Chad going through getting 50-50 with his child and us sharing information between each other because I went through it first. Now Chad going through it. So first we just want to talk about being a dad. Like, how does that feel that you becoming a first time dad? I'm gonna present that question to you.
It's actually amazing, man. Being a dad is amazing. But the other side of it, I didn't know how it was gonna be to be a dad, right? Especially when you become a dad it wasn't planned for you to be a dad.
Correct.
But once you see the little person that looks like you, and you get so infatuated with being there for them and providing for them, it becomes a whole other world that now I'm responsible for another human being and the things that you'll do and the lengths that you'll go for that person. So how about
Correct.
yourself?
Correct.
How would you say that for yourself?
Like you said, for me, it was unexpectedly becoming a dad. And I can tell a funny story. I became a dad by a text message that somebody sent me a picture. Well, my child's mother, not somebody. My child's mother sent me a picture of her, taking a pregnancy test, and it was like, "You a daddy?" And I'm like, "Huh? What?" So, that it automatically clicked for me that, all right, I got somebody I'm responsible for. And it just turned on to me that, I gotta provide for this person that didn't ask to be here. So, I actually love being a dad. My daughter's actually here with me right now. She over there, I had to give her an iPad to keep her quiet. But yeah, man, it's a great experience. It's a responsibility that I feel that helped me become a man, more of a man, because you think you're a man until you're responsible for somebody else.
Yes, sir.
Um, but yeah, man, I think that that's one of the biggest things for me in my life so far. What would you say to be the most challenging things for you right now with becoming a dad?
Just trying to be, especially if you're not with the person, trying to be on the same accord. I feel like sometimes when you're a new parent or just a parent in general, when you're not with the other parent, it's a lot of challenges that come from how you want to raise them, what you want them to do, what you want them not to do. Trying to get on the same page as far as that goes has probably been the biggest struggle. Or in the beginning, before you have court orders, the possession time, trying to see the child when you want to see the child versus when the mother wants you to see the child in the beginning. I think that was probably the biggest struggle in the beginning, is trying to navigate that lane of when do I be assertive or when I not be assertive. Or do I
And
try to win the battle or win the war? Like how
I think all of us go through that too, because I think I went through that too, where my child's mother, and they like to say that it's something with postpartum or something like that, where they're attached to the child, and you know what I mean. It's either they way or no way, and I kind of went through that at first, where she didn't want me to leave the house without her and the baby, and it's just like we not together, so why does it like this my child? Like I want to take her to go see my family, get to know my side of the family and things like that. So we had that tug of war, when my child first was born, of like, no, I'm coming to get her with no order, no, what I mean, no rules in place.
Mhm.
And I think that was one of the most challenging things for me. Just, now that you and this person that probably didn't set any standards with each other, now y'all locked in with each other. And I think that was like a real big challenge for me in the beginning until, I took certain steps to go get my rights and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then you
But
got to think about the ego that plays in that too, right? As a male, you're like, hey, listen, they ask you for money. They want you to do this and the third. And you're like, why you need, you want to, why do I need to do this or why should I do this? Let me see the invoice or whatever it may be, right? before I break bread with you, I gotta make
For
sure my
real,
money going to the right places. That's
right?
that ego is in there too. I think that we're part of our own demise in the beginning too, trying to navigate that space. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, man. So with these conversations, like we said, we're gonna lead it into something more bigger. But like I said, this is our first episode. We just wanted to kick it off, let everybody know some of the personal challenges we have,
Mhm.
some of the things that we going through as dads that we working through. You
Yeah.
got any questions, anything you want to put forth?
Um, I would just say, as a new dad, try to find balance and understanding that you're not gonna win every situation or get everything like you want. But also find balance in trying to learn the laws if you're not with the other person to try to get that in that space of being able to be a active father, right? I think a lot of times, a lot of information that is misconceived as a dad that you don't know early on that you need to educate yourself on, and we'll talk about that later in episodes as far as some of the things legally that I had to learn to go for fifty
And,
fifty
and
versus the other part of
I
it.
want to stop you because you said something very important, and I want to know: did you have your dad in your life?
Yes, but on the weekends.
So same as me, right? So what does an active father look like to you?
Well, I want to be there as much as possible. Like the mother, like typically the mother at first, when I first had my child, I saw my child one day a week in the beginning, the first 6 months. I saw her every Sunday from like 8 in the morning to 6 or 7 at night. And I was like, nah, this ain't it. Like,
Right,
like, what you mean? Like, I gotta see her once a week. But what I mean by active father, like being there for school, like she's not in grade school yet, but eventually she will be. So I want to be there for the little moments, right? Teach her how to potty train. Just going through the flashcards. We learning how to talk, learning colors, on the weekends, you don't really get that if you only have the weekend, right? You got
right,
to have some balance in the child life. So being a part of the day to day living, showing them how to sit down and eat some spaghetti or eat regular, whatever it is you're eating, right? So you want to be a part of that daily process, going to the doctor's appointments, doing follow ups, holding the child when they're doing the shots, whatever it may be. Like you want to be a part of the whole
correct.
process because they simply grow before your eyes, right?
And I would say that I was part of the whole process, but my main thing was, and it's such a something that we could talk about next. But me and my child mother wasn't together,
Yeah.
so a lot of things she wanted to be in control of that where she felt like she had to be there, and if she wasn't there, then it was a no go. Like, no, you can't come get her, or if I'm
Mhm.
not sitting right next to you, no, you can't do this certain thing. So for me, that was like you don't trust me. Like we created this person together. Like you know what I mean. Of like you said, the little things. I want to teach her, the things that I've learned. And she's a young lady, so it's just like showing her that she has a man that's gonna be there for her.
Mhm.
Like you know what I mean, and really care about her. Cause like you said, I care about teaching her certain things, making sure that she learn how to write, read. A lot of those things is important to me.
Mhm.
But let's speak to the fact of, are you with your child's mother and why? I could say that, I done said it before that me and my child mother is not together. And I could say because of me not taking things serious, right? Because you
Mhm.
know that we, for lack of better words, we having sex, we having fun.
Mhm.
You don't think you could get things can get that serious. Because I used to have this dumb saying that my pullout game strong until I see that it's not. My shit was weak as hell. So you know what I mean. And like we tell ourselves these things while we young and thinking that we got forever, but you doing an act that could create a life. You
Mhm.
know what I mean. So speak to that. Like you know what I mean. Are you with your child's mother? And if you care to explain what happened.
Um, Long story short, I don't want to, make her look like one way or another. I'm just gonna keep it positive, right? But we're not together. We had relations about, a handful of times in a year where I can count them. And when we conceived the child, I told her to take a plan B at that time, and I was trying to avoid the whole thing, right? Like most guys probably, well, some guys, not most. Some guys probably run into, and then I wasn't really a part of the pregnancy, to be honest with you. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, and long story short, I dealt with, just not wanting to be with her and her
Hmm.
situation. I didn't mind being a father. We had previous relationships prior to us having our child of not wanting any children, between the two of us. So I thought we had an understanding of if anything were to go left or right, we can kind of navigate that space before we get to that point. And when that didn't happen, I turned into a whole different animal. I would say I was probably not my best version, because of that, that lack of trust. I mean, that loss of trust between the two. And I
Hmm.
was like, F it, you're going to have to deal with this by yourself. And that was immature of me, because I definitely was not trying to be there in any capacity during the pregnancy. I was like, I'll be there 100% when she's born, but the pregnancy is all you. So,
And I think that's just us growing up, right? Because like you said,
mhm,
that you're not happy with that version of yourself, and I don't think no real man would be happy. You know what I mean? Seeing the mother of their child go through something, alone, especially, from what I hear, I never gonna experience that, you know what I mean? But
mhm,
just from me being there, and I would say for me, I was kind of like you with the mindset that where, all right, and I always had this mindset too that where if anybody I got pregnant, okay, we gonna be serious together.
mhm,
But not to speak for her, but her mindset was, no, we not together. We not gonna be together. You could
mhm,
be here to support me and throughout this process, but we not together. And she let it be known that we ain't together. So it was kind of hard for me to understand that where, because I always had it in my head that where, oh, once I get pregnant, she gonna be in love with me, or whoever
mhm.
the person is, they're gonna be in love with me. We gonna figure this thing out. We gonna do
Yes,
it. So
sir.
it was a total opposite. So it was kind of hard for me to be there with somebody, but I knew that in a couple months this human is going to come out, and
Mhm.
how I want her to be treated and loved, you know what I mean? And plus my mama was on my ass. So she wasn't gonna let me not be there. So I got one of those moments that, hey, hell no, if that's your baby, you gonna be there type of
Mhm.
vibe. So yeah, I thank God for my mom, you know what I mean? And then, my dad giving me great advice.
So when it comes to, some of the objective, I guess not even objectives, more some of the difficulties you're having, right, throughout the process of the growing up process, or dealing with a girl when it comes to discipline and things of that nature, compared to, I think your nephew, right? You have a nephew. So how do you
Yeah.
do? What's the difference between disciplining your daughter versus disciplining your nephew?
I am soft. Yeah, I could say something, and then the next 5 minutes it's just like, oh baby, here you go. You know what I mean? And it just
Yeah.
like, dang, what is wrong with me? Like, but I think it's just because she's a girl, like, you know what I mean? And she look at you like, what? Like, what are you talking about? No. And it's just like, I can just give you an instance, like her staying up when we go to school. It's just like, all right, your bedtime at 9:30. Me and her up watching TV to 10:15, and just like, all right, come on now, you gotta go to bed now. Like, but daddy, I'm not done yet. It's just like, come on, we both gotta go to sleep. That's how I get her to go to bed. Like, we both gotta go to sleep. Come on, we can't be up late. So it's just those little nuances, and like I always say that my daughter, she made me soft towards women, understanding women feelings, because I kind of know how you grew up, but I ain't gonna talk for you. But we grew up in a that where boys don't cry, boys don't do
Yeah.
this. You feel what I'm saying? So now that I have a daughter, it's totally different. That way, it's just like, stop crying. All right, come here, baby, give me a hug. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. So it just, the softer side that came out in me, just where it's just like, oh my God, she eat me up, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
can't. The discipline is very minimal, but I do discipline her though. Like, and I got one of those girls that where you raise your voice, she crying.
yeah.
So that's a good thing. That where what I mean, it ain't too. She ain't scared of me, but she respects me. I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They run to you real quick and come on over here and get a hug. That'll calm him down. My daughter do the
Right.
same thing. Come jump in my
Yeah.
arms. It's a whole different ball game. Now, what was I
Uh,
mad about?
right. I don't even remember what I was mad about. But
It's a beautiful
so
thing.
so I was at this conference today, right, called Black Men Excel. And they was talking about marriage and how a lot of people with and we running out of time.
Okay.
That's what it did popped up on my Zoom screen.
All right.
Um, a lot of people is not married far as black people. They say less than 30 something percent. And
Yeah.
they say the way that this keep going on, that we're gonna be in the low teens in the next few years. So
Yeah.
I want to hear your perspective of that with both of us raising girls and seeing that low rate of marriage, because I know that we want the best for our child. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like how does that make you feel hearing that, they not getting married no more? And we're not the ones marrying them either. It's just the irony in that.
I think it's more so for me just trying to teach them a little differently than how the people are being taught today. Showing them how you value a relationship in general, and kind of teach them, you need a partner in life, right? You don't want to do this thing alone. You don't want to be a single person all your whole life. There's a lot of people in your families that you look at that are older by themselves, kind of instilling the principles of a team effort early on in life versus just trying to teach them, you need to be super strong. I don't want you to be super strong. I want you to be strong enough to do what you need to do while you're alone, but you're strong enough to also know you need a
Excuse me.
teammate to navigate life. Because they don't want to be. We don't want our kids to be in our situations where they're on the opposite side of being a strong, independent woman or whatever it may be, right? And navigating the single motherhood versus just have a family, family over everything else. I think that's the biggest thing I'm focusing on when my upbringing of my daughter is just showing her that you need a family and you need to navigate that. So how you feel about that?
Me the same way, just showing her true, genuine love. And just letting her know that, when she gets older, what I mean, what it looks like to have a man that show you love
Mhm.
and knowing how to pick somebody.
Yeah.
And that was then, and I just want to have that relationship where that open relationship where we could talk about these things. I think a lot of people don't have these conversations no more. Because I think everything is so gimme, gimme, gimme now, and it's my way, my way, my way. Um, and hopefully that changes by the time she's old enough to even think about getting in a
Yeah.
relationship. I don't even want to think about that right now. Uh, but yeah, man, but that's my mindset with it right now. And just seeing how I grew up with, my father, like I said, I don't want to take nothing away from my dad. He was there. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? He just didn't live in the house with us. But I done been, my dad done took us out of town, used to take me to football games. My dad
Yeah.
taught me how to read. He showed me what a man is supposed to do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Now, whatever situation him and my mom had, I didn't take that side of it and because I looked at it as, I'm gonna try to, like I always had this mindset. Once I have a child, oh, we gonna be together. Me and
Yeah.
my girl gonna be together, and I can say that it just didn't happen that way for me. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
it's just the world that we live in now, or anything like that. But before we run out of time, let's just close out with some tips for new dads, especially on the things that we talked about earlier. Um, about being there for a mother while she's pregnant, about setting and understanding while when they first born. Do you have any tips or anything like that? I will go first. I
Uh-huh.
would say understand that postpartum is real.
Yes.
We don't have children, so women is going through something. I don't know what happens when that baby come out of them, that where the demon side come out of them, they little
Mhm.
horns come on top of their head, and they just turn into a different person. And I guess their body is trying to get back to normal, but take heed to that, fellas.
Mhm.
Try to understand that. Trust me, I know that's one of the hardest things that I went through was trying to
Yeah.
understand that she was actually going through something.
Uh,
And in my mind, it's just like you just had a baby, get over it. So I would say don't go at it with that attitude. Try to go at it with an attitude of understanding, caring.
uh,
Um, yeah, that would be my advice to any new dad, man.
I would just say try not to challenge everything that you don't agree with. I feel like you'll put yourself in more hellacious conversations that you want to be in by trying to challenge everything that they may say to you. Kind of just take heed that, hey, listen, this is like you said earlier about postpartum. They're going through things mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be. Kind of be a little bit more understanding, more reserved in your thought process. Probably get you a therapist or get you a friend or a family member that you can speak to about some of your issues. Kind of keep that separate from her in the beginning about your reservations that you may be experiencing because you might trigger you might do more harm in the beginning, bringing everything to their attention because there's so many emotions and they're so high at that moment. I think it's just
Facts.
best to just take that step back and just understand that she has a lot going on, even though the baby's no longer in her. But you have to be a lot more understanding, like you said about postpartum, and kind of just navigate. Hey, maybe speak to one of her family members. Kind of navigate. Hey, how do you think I need to deal with her, or find a friend of hers, and kind of like find a navigational system that's not directly through that person because they might not be able to receive it. And always understand that when they hit you with how they feeling, that's not an argument you're gonna win because it's not about facts, it's about feelings. So kind of just understand, hey, let them get it off, take a back seat, come back and
Excuse
they're
me.
never it's not gonna be a logical conversation when they go to the feelings route. So let it be and don't get mad because you'll be more upset than anything else.
Hey man, Chad, I appreciate you, man. We're gonna continue these conversations. Like we said, we both agree that dads need to hear this conversation. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be inviting more dads, bringing more resources to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I like dad vibes only. I don't know about you. It's kind of wearing on me. The more I say it
Yeah,
in the conversation that we just had,
yeah,
we just speaking that dad talk. You know what I mean? Of becoming a father. And like we said, we both still in our beginning stages of
yeah.
being a dad. Like my daughter 5. I think your daughter what,
Two,
3, 4,
so two,
2.
two,
I
two and
done
a half.
aged her a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it's
See, I
all
thought
right.
she was 3. See,
Well,
she's 2 years old.
if y'all watching this, man, y'all let us know what y'all think about Dad Vibes, not only the name in the comments, or just
Yes.
conversations and topics that you guys want to bring up, or us to bring up down the line. We'll definitely appreciate your feedback, any comments that you guys have for us down at the bottom of the comments.
Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all our channels once we get to finalize our name, and we're gonna let everybody know what's up, man. But definitely appreciate you, my brother. And
All right.
we're gonna pick this conversation back up again.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed.
All right.